socialist healthcare network that's a voluntary thing that would look more like an insurance company or a charity or some hybrid of that provides medicine to everybody or healthcare to everyone at a superfluous rate, because we'll be so much more capable of it with a voluntary cooperative system rather than the corrupt coercive one that we have today, and that getting to that level of freedom is what that is. This is the last major thing holding back humanity right now.
The way that I frame it is that our isms have failed us. And what we need is, and the word collective scares a lot of people, but we need a collective ascension. And what I mean by that is just a large scale determination that the way that we've been doing things sucks. And that we need a different way of doing things that isn't modeled on a fucking history of failures.
So Steve, you're so right. I want to ask you a question because it's something I'm kind of pondering. Maybe we can take this moment to figure something out here. There's a surge towards greater state power around the coronaphobia crisis, obviously. And there's some theories that it was timed because, hey, Hong Kong was popping off, right? We haven't heard about protests in Hong Kong for a while.
48 countries. 48 countries. Fucking protests in the street, massive people in the street.
Yes, thank you. I knew you'd be on that story. So there is a suppression of that sentiment that they might try to hold down indefinitely, but I don't think they're going to be able to use this as an excuse. The virus has already mutated so many times, and of course the natural course of such a virus is to get less deadly as it mutates, and that's what we're seeing. But if they decide to, if they are successfully able to scare people into their homes for another 3 months and say, look, it mutated, there's a worse version, and twist the science on that as they have so much already. They could keep it going, but there's also a widespread sense of they can't enforce this shit, can they? Really? Really? Like, and I maybe in China, maybe in the Philippines, where they're beating people in the street for violating stay-at-home orders, like in India, and as bad as police and government relations are here in the United States, there are places that it's a lot fucking worse. Like, you go to some of these third world countries where they still have massive police states, and there's it's like ours, but without even the threat of accountability through a legal system. Like, at least cops have some awareness. There's and there's an expectation, and everybody has a video camera in their pocket on their phone now. In a lot of countries, that's not a thing. And some of the videos in other countries are horrific. But in the United States, where the center of, in China and the U.S. and Europe are the epicenters of the fear pandemic, right? As the louder voices in the global conversation, so to speak, controlling the media and the international conversation to a certain degree that is outsized per population. We can turn the tide here, and it could have that global impact if the conversation shifts. I read an article. I'm getting to the question. I read an article on Ron Paul Institute by Brett. I forget the last name, and it was about 1989 and Tiananmen Square and the fall of the Berlin Wall, and that things have that sense about them right now, where almost every American is a civil disobedience activist to some degree, even if it's, well, I'm going to break the stay-at-home order just for my own whatever here, or, oh, I got within 6 feet of someone here. Or if you live in New York and the health directive said don't lick buttholes, you licked a butthole in civil disobedience. Good for you. I'm not joking. That was in the New York State orders. You saw that, right? Don't perform oral anal sex because you're going to spread the virus.
Right. Don't get asked during the coronavirus.
Yeah. The government of New York City thinks that its citizens are so dumb that when they say stay 6 feet apart from each other, they have to say that includes don't lick each other's buttholes. Just to be clear, stay 6 feet away, and keep your tongue out of somebody else's butthole. Yeah, okay, whatever. They just one level of the inanity of all of this. So